Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. It's very easy to get swept up in the emotions of it all. Following a disappointing November 2022 election, people are susceptible to emotional narratives. Donald Trump's the problem. Donald Trump this, that, and the other. Well, you know, as the emotions wear off and you start to think a little bit more sober, things start to become a whole lot more clear. Donald Trump isn't the problem. Donald Trump is the solution. The solution to finally, hopefully moving towards an end to totally dismantling this corrupt Washington class that continues to sell you out. The more time I get to just think, and the more I'm paying attention to the daily news cycle and to all of these issues, all the issues that America is facing, there's always one concept, one idea that continues to pop up subconsciously. Man, we need more Donald Trump. And today's news topic that's making me think exactly that, it's the issue of
you go over to China, you take China.
And the CCP tool known as TikTok. What the frig is taking so long when it comes to banning this Chinese CCP spy tool? Frankly, I'd go as far to say this tool of demoralization. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so let's first start off with government in action. The question that I just posed, what the frig is taking so long? TikTok banned on government devices under spending bill passed by Congress. Congress passed a large spending package that includes a bill banning TikTok from being used on government devices. People are celebrating this as a major win, but it's not. It's a half effort. It's a pretending we care, but we don't actually, which is why we're only targeting government devices. This is exactly what you might expect from the sellouts in Washington. They've sold their soul to the highest bidder, and currently the highest bidder happens to be China. Obviously because of the economic implications. Let me ask you a question. If TikTok wasn't owned by the CCP, but rather was owned by Iran or Russia, how fast do you think it would be banned? In the blink of an eye, poof, it would be gone. But because it's China, they're only targeting government devices. It's time to ban TikTok. And with this topic of discussion in the news, once again, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, where is Donald Trump when you need him? Once again, it shows the difference between the Washington establishment and anti-establishment Trump. The history behind TikTok ban. On August 6, 2020, President Donald Trump first attempted to ban TikTok in the United States with an executive order outlawing transactions between ByteDance and US citizens. He cited national security concerns. He backtracked 8 days later with another executive order giving ByteDance 90 days split off its US TikTok business or sell to an American firm. ByteDance engaged in discussions to sell TikTok to Microsoft, Oracle, and Walmart, but nothing materialized. A series of lawsuits by ByteDance and TikTok influencers ensued, which effectively staved off the ban. In June of 2021, President Biden revoked Donald Trump's executive order, but began an investigation into the security threats TikTok might pose. By June of 2022, buzz had resurfaced about backdoor access to US user data by employees in China. Federal Communications Commissioner Brendan Carr sent an open letter to Apple and Google calling for them to remove TikTok from their stores due to surreptitious data practices. And it shows you the difference right there. While Donald Trump's in office, he takes an executive action to ban TikTok, and then after realizing it's not going to hold up, because he probably couldn't get Congress on his side, he decides to switch it up and try to force a sell-off to an American firm. Joe Biden gets into office and immediately, Xi Jinping pet, sleepy creepy Brandon, immediately undoes, revokes Donald Trump's executive order. These uniparty goons are fundamentally unserious when it comes to challenging America's greatest adversaries. Who do these people represent? I mean, we know the implications. We know exactly what the CCP is doing with TikTok. China expert is saying Communist China is using TikTok to promote drug use, violence in America, in an attempt to ruin country.
We know that over a course of years, about 3 or 4 of them, TikTok has been making representations to the U.S. about how it doesn't allow data to be sent to China, and it's violated every single assurance it's given to the U.S. But it's not just stealing data. It is actually more serious that it is using the TikTok algorithm to disseminate Chinese propaganda, glorifying drug use, promoting violence on American streets, and this year disseminating Russian narratives about the Ukraine war. So this really is an attempt to undermine and actually even overthrow the U.S. government. And why we permitted, I don't know. India banned TikTok. We should do the same thing.
We know exactly that's what they're doing. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. I mean, it doesn't even take an expert to come to that conclusion. Just open TikTok for 5 frickin' seconds, observe the degenerate cesspool that it is, and you'll come to that conclusion in about 5 seconds when you realize that the CCP is behind it. It seems to be part of the whole demoralization scheme that Yuri Bezmenov warned us about.
It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate 1 generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The result you can see. Most of the people who graduated in the 60s, dropouts or half-baked intellectuals, are now occupying the positions of power in the government, civil service, business, mass media, educational system. You are stuck with them. You cannot get rid of them. They are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind, even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black. You still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior. In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is complete and irreversible.
The stakes are high, your children are the target, but apparently that isn't enough for Congress to take serious action. Now to add insult to injury, TikTok has its own ad platform. The platform is probably generating billions upon billions of dollars in the American market, and so once again we are funding governments that hate us. Governments that hate us, want to overtake us, want to destroy us, and continue to infiltrate our governments using that money. I mean, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. We continue to enrich them, and then they use that money to infiltrate our government, to peddle influence, to buy off our politicians, and it's a cycle that keeps repeating itself over and over again. And of course, a very important part of that cycle is the politicians who sell their souls to the highest bidder, and the only solution that I've seen to that problem, or at least maybe a partial solution, maybe something that's going to at least leave a dent, is Donald Trump. He is the only individual who sees the problem clearly and then attempts to do something about it. You know, the same thing with the whole lab leak theory, which of course he's been pretty much vindicated on, or at least it was a legitimate question. What side are you on? The corporate press that drums up some BS narrative about racism in order to defend the CCP, or the guy who asks the right questions, identifies issues, and then speaks up about them and does something about it? Across the board, whether it be economic, foreign policy, national security issues like TikTok, or questions related to the pandemic, Donald Trump has a perfect track record of speaking up and doing the right thing. Meanwhile, these absolutely spineless Washington bureaucrats, these uniparty goons, do the exact opposite. And in the process, of course, they have sold you out. And even worse, they show a total disregard for national security and the mental stability and development of young children, as young minds are being influenced negatively, using TikTok as the vessel. Banning TikTok on government phones doesn't even scratch the surface, period. TikTok should be banned outright, just like the government of India did. And there shouldn't even be a conversation, a discussion, or any questions. It should be done yesterday. The next step that needs to take place is a very simple bill that straight up just bans TikTok, present it and make it very public and transparent and open, create some media around the bill, and pay attention to how each and every single Democrat and Republican votes on that bill. With enough pressure and with enough eyes, it's going to pass easily, or it's going to give you great insight into which politicians are bought and paid for CCP lobbyists. You know, I'm actually really curious how Eric Swalwell would vote on a bill like that. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel if you guys are up for it. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.